This is also a very important module or lesson, and this comes from enabling people on your team. If you own a company, you already know that talent acquisition and retention, hiring, staffing is one of the most challenging parts about any business, right? Some of your best people move on. Sometimes you have to hire on someone who isn't very good, but they're all you can get in that moment. Staffing is likely the most difficult part of almost any job, to be honest with you, because the company you keep, the people, it's tough. And it's no different in content. I've hired and fired numerous people. I've tried to work and collaborate. Like, it's very difficult to find motivated, skilled people. But chances are, if you're at this point, if you're watching this video, if you've committed to our marketing direction, it means that you're established enough. You have people, you have teams, you have systems, you have processes, you do good work. So there's people on your team right now that are extremely valuable to you. They're probably even coming to mind. Names, faces, people. You know who they are. Something that's overlooked all the time, especially in the trades, right, is the skill sets that exist within your employees that aren't necessarily to do with the day-to-day work, right? Labor. When I was a painter, commercial painter, I was always talking about marketing. I was always trying to land us more jobs. And I wasn't paid to do so, but I had a vested interest because I wanted to keep working. The boss was kind of a wingnut. He was a little wild. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think he has as much work as he says. I'm going to try and land us some jobs. My point being that right now on your team, especially if you got some younger cats, they're already on this, man. They're already using Instagram. They might have a BMW or a car that they're really into, and they have 100,000 followers on their TikTok. They might be a gamer. They might be a guitar player. You never know. Someone on your team likely is already very accomplished or very familiar with how Facebook works, with how Instagram works, with how Snapchat works, with how all these platforms work. And they're probably pretty creative. So the purpose of this is to challenge you to start thinking differently too about what they do on a day-to-day basis. There's probably someone on your team that can handle a lot of these things. It doesn't necessarily have to be you. I think it's very important that you get involved, that you lead it, that you instigate it, that you say, hey, call in a meeting, say like, I really want to start getting the content, dialed in. When you're out, take pictures. Let's share them to a central drive or send them to me, text them to me, upload to the Facebook, whatever it is. Marketing is a team effort. It's no one person. I mean, it's very difficult to adequately promote anything by yourself. And there are people on your team right now that if given the opportunity, if you said to one of your younger employees, like, hey, we really value having you around here. You're a great kid. You got great work ethic, but there's some other skill that you have that we don't, that we kind of need. Would you be willing to start documenting some of these projects when you're out and about, start getting some reels, start taking some photos, start making some stuff? Would you be willing to do that? Yeah, that'd be cool. A lot of them will just say, yeah. I would also say I wouldn't ask them to do this for free because it is a skill, it is a task, and you have to delegate the task between like, this isn't your full-time job. I'm not going to pay you to do this 100%, but I want to entrust you and enable you with this, license to do these things. Start taking photos, start taking videos. Maybe if you want to start managing some of it too, but identifying someone on the team that can also take the lead on this, like contribute to it in a meaningful way. Again, you're not going to be everywhere. You might not be on that job site when that stuff happens. They might be funny and understand meme culture better, where they can come up with a funny thing that you would never think of. I see all the time these angles these kids take. I'm like, dude, that's so funny. You're like a comedian and a videographer. Like, how did you think of that? Someone on your team probably has skills that you're not even aware of necessarily. They might be an accomplished photographer, videographer. You don't even know it yet, but you have to have that conversation and identify someone on your team. Hey, listen, I really want to start doing this stuff. Would you be willing to help? By the way, I'll give you another $100 per pay period. I don't know what your pay scale is like, but just incentivize them in some way. I would highly recommend not asking them to do it for free. It happened to me numerous times, and you just end up resenting it. You say, you know what? You're just getting free work out of me. I'm now the content creator and the laborer. Great. I'm doing 2 jobs for the price of 1. I can't recommend doing that. I would not do that at all. If there is someone that comes to mind on your team that is good. They're good with computers. They're good with tech. They're good with phones. Have the conversation with them. Say, hey, I think this would be a good fit. Would you be interested? Work out the terms ahead of time. Like, hey, I'll give you a couple extra bucks. Maybe even some profit share off a job. Like, hey, dude, you land a job off this thing. Well, you get a commission-based something. Again, the point is to identify skill sets that might be dormant or unused on the job site. They might be great at what they do, or even they're on the low man on the totem pole. You might have a guy that's just like, he just started, he pushes the broom around. He's the roustabout. He's getting stuff. He's doing this, doing that. Lo and behold, he's like an Instagram master. And all you had to do is ask. Be like, hey, what do you know about TikTok? He's like, dude, I got 500,000 followers. I know how to stir the pot. Cool. Guess what? I got another job for you. Not for free again. Incentivize it in some way. Doesn't have to be massive gobs of cash, but identifying talent within your team that can take these tasks and run with them. I promise you, see it all the time. There's brilliant people all around you that have skills that you might not be aware of. You just got to open up and ask.